Hey, hello, your second trial with Wolf Gorlick, a few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today looking at Node, in particular the Node security project, Node package manager, and just some cool things with Node.js. One of the things I love about my gig is talking to organizations who are like, oh, we have this problem, here we solve it like this. And some of these things are very niche, some of these things are very broad, but the one I ran into today was Greenskeeper.io. and what it's used for in terms of package management. So tip for you, if you're using Node.js, check out the Node security project and check out Greenskeeper for all your dependency management needs. Why is this important? Well, organizations look at software composition at a big picture, right? All the different components your software is made up with, or look specifically within software composition at dependency management for a very real reason. A, obviously, integrity, your stuff has to work. B, availability, when you hit compile and push out your code, gotta go, it's gotta work. And C, just the vulnerability, right? Reducing the vulnerabilities. We all know about defect density, about 1 line of defect per 1,000 lines of code. The more code you have, the more defects there are. And we can do a lot of things to reduce the code that we actually introduce, or as we're developing, right? Reduce the code we introduce. But that's, you only can do so much. And stats put the dependencies, right, third-party code, as high as 90% of most internally developed software packages. 90% of our code has vulnerabilities that we don't necessarily know about. And if you're using something like NPM, right, Node Package Manager, you pull down your packages, and then that pulls down the dependencies and pulls those down as well. Now, great, awesome, cool, as long as they updated that manifest when they pushed it, awesome, cool, you're up to date. But the reality is that usually it's an older version, right? A few steps behind, that's open source for you. And there's been some vulnerabilities probably found in that. A few steps behind, that's open source for you. Those vulnerabilities have been looked at, many eyeballs, open source for you. But there's a great deal of vulnerabilities in older code, as we know. This is where attackers are always mining for exploits and what have you. So what can you do to make sure that when you pull down your dependencies, that you're getting the latest and greatest? Varies by platform, but one of the things I ran into today in the Node.js world is a thing called Greenskeeper.io. Greenskeeper.io looks at NPM, updates those things by hooking into GitHub and pulling down the latest and greatest, thereby hopefully mitigating known vulnerabilities. Not necessarily unknown vulnerabilities, we'll get to that another time, but the known vulnerabilities that bite us in Node.js projects, in dependencies, something like Greenskeeper can keep you up to date and make sure your developers are always pulling from the latest and greatest. Kind of cool. If you've used it, hit me up in comments, social media. Does it work? How's it work? What do you think? If you're in another language, you're like, hey, that sounds like this tool. Let me know about that too, because it'd be really cool to kind of start collecting some of these practices and bringing it all together. Cheers.